Roll passive perception. Sorry.
But it's just like, why do I even bother making stealth rolls at this point?
So it's slightly more cloudy at the time, or well, a slightly heavier fog than you initially when you got here. And you would notice in a nearby alleyway, you would see two other people standing there in darkened cloaks. They seem quite familiar to you. It's the two people that left earlier from Rock 1. As one of them appears to be just holding out something in front of them and then retracting their hand. Gives a gentle bow and then rushes away.
What did you say? They hold out a hand?
Yeah, they hold out something. They appear to be holding something in their hand. And then they retract their hand again and then run away. Whatever they were holding just vanished.
Just both?
Poof, went gone.
Wait. Are items carried by invisible creatures also invisible?
If they were carrying them at the time, I think.
Can imps make items they hold invisible?
Anything the target is wearing or carrying is invisible as long as it's on the target's person. It's ambiguous whether that applies to anything it picks up after going invisible.
Like, there was no sense of magic except it just turned invisible and was gone.
The thing is, you have a high passive perception. It's kind of foggy. You're far away. You just see this out of the corner of your eye.
Mm-hmm.
So it is just like, yeah, you see something happen, but you don't quite know what happened.
Okay. It's just,
So
I saw
it's
something,
difficult
it's
for
gone.
you to ascertain. It's just something you noticed. Like you're just a radar that picks up random stuff, right? So if you want to inquire further, you could search a little bit around if you want. But this is what you get from just your passive.
But they're both gone, right?
Yeah, they start running away from the scene.
I assume we didn't find a cart yet, considering we have a giant horse here now.
No, you haven't gotten a cart yet.
Giant horse? As in, how many people fit on this horse?
Oh.
You should be able to have. Well, I suppose you should be able to have like two people sitting on it, right? Yeah. It only has a saddle for one, I suppose.
You don't need a saddle to ride a horse.
No. It is supposed to be a decently large horse.
Can we...
It's
well,
considered a
anyways.
war horse.
Can we check out a tiny bit before we head home? I think I saw something happen.
That's a very broad statement, I say from my horse.
I don't know, it just happened quickly. Like... can we just head over a bit to the right, wherever that was?
Mm-hmm. Do all of you head over, or just you?
I'll vaguely head off to wherever my right is,
Mhm.
unless Seren provides more information.
You're just gently heading a little bit towards the east, towards the southern ward.
Am I doing it right, Saren?
Yes.
You just randomly happen to pick the right path.
How much does Eowyn and Hopper weigh?
I guess Hopper
Uh,
doesn't weigh a lot. Wait, did I? I think I wrote that down. How much I weigh?
He hasn't
65
specified how much
kilo.
he weighs.
What race is he?
He's a rabbit folk.
Harrington?
I mean,
Well,
Harrigan?
yeah, that's the Unearthed Arcana word for it. Rabbit. No, that is the race now. Rabbit folk is the Unearthed Arcana.
Harrington. Yes, it's weird.
Harengun.
Harrigan, yeah. I
Okay,
was
so
close enough.
it's about £100. How much do you weigh, Micah?
65
Eowyn.
kilo.
What's that in stupid?
like-
One,
Plus-
140 LBS. What is LBS?
pounds, because of course.
It's the pounds, except there's no L and no B in there. What?
Yeah, I don't know why.
The power of imperial units.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
Awen is thin, by the way. If she's like a head higher than me and only weighs 10 more.
Yeah, I'm very, very thin, elegant stick figure. Like, don't know how big because I had to reduce the boobs a lot on the character that I made.
Ah, yes, that's where all the weight is stored.
Well, if you had seen the initial character, she had like D or something, or double D. I was like, yeah, no, that is not gonna work. That's because they're still quite big-ish. Yeah.
And there you go. Your horse can carry Awen if she reduces her boob
Yeah.
size.
I would say it can carry me and one other person, or you three. At least weight-wise, it might be difficult to actually be on it.
I mean, I've already rode a horse before. I know how to handle myself.
Like I think I weigh twice as much as you lot, even before my equipment comes into it.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is also without my equipment, right? So, not that my equipment is gonna weigh much.
No, mine does weigh quite a lot, and I'm like 230 pounds.
Yeah, me and my equipment equals you without equipment.
Yeah, so let's just say two people then. Hopper and Abigail, or two other people, not Abigail.
Who is immobile at the moment, so he's just strapped onto it somewhere.
Yeah.
Technically, you can just
Just
strap
in
him
the
on the
side.
neck, no?
And a side bag on the horse.
Yeah, or like those baskets that donkeys have, but then just strap one on the horse. Perfectly normal.
Suppose that works.
Either way, as we discussed how much we weighed in the middle of the street.
Question: If I like equip the horse and then dismiss the horse, does it come back with the equipment, or does the equipment just kind of does it when the
Fall
horse
off.
disappears? Is the is the equipment just hovering in midair and then falls to the ground?
I don't know. I'll look that up. Whether you can store stuff on the steed. Like I assume you're just summoning a creature and not whatever it's possessing, like Find Familiar, but it might be different for Find Steed. I'll look it up.
Mm.
Mm.
Anyway.
According to Jeremy Crawford, it's up to the DM.
Okay.
Either way, as Awen is figuring out how big the boobs are, and Abel is asking about a way, I'll head to the disappearing act of in the corner of my eye.
Okay. As you head over and peek around a corner into an alleyway where you saw the two people disappear from, you can see a little bit off in the distance a piece of parchment that's just hovering in the air.
What? My.
About a 40 odd feet away from you.
Do I hear gentle flapping?
No, you do not.
So have we just given up on Sarah bothering to roll for perception checks?
Yeah, I think. I mean,
If it happens, it
Well,
happens.
With that passive, you would pick up if there's gentle flaps around you, especially if you're directly trying to find out.
I mean, the only thing I need now is advantage on my perception checks, and then I have 29. Let's go.
can see into the the ethereal plane now.
I'll gently try to grab the parchment.
Okay.
Boom.
So you try to sneak your way forward to try to grab it.
Yeah, ready to
Are we still talking
jump
about
or
the
dodge.
parchment, or are we back on Erwin?
Parchment.
As you sneak your way forward, when you're about maybe like 15 feet away, you hear a stern female voice just says,
Kiss off.
I wouldn't recommend that. As suddenly apparating before you is a woman in maybe her mid-50s or so, dressed in a long flowing cloak that looks adorned with all manner of embroiderments on it. It has these sort of gold trims to it, and she has her hair sort of tied back in a fine lock that sort of changes color the longer the hair goes.
Give me the iPad.
As she's holding the piece of parchment.
Well,
And I believe she has a staff with her as well. No, she does not have a staff. You would notice at her back there is a sword that is sheathed.
Ah, demon!
Wait, so there was a floating thing, but she doesn't want you to take the floating thing.
oh, she's holding the floating thing.
Or she's holding the floating thing. So it's not
I guess
floating
that
anymore.
answers our question of whether items held by invisible people are invisible.
I mean, it could be like someone that was in the ethereal plane holding it, right?
Really? You can hold something from another plane?
I'm pretty sure you can't.
No, you can't interact with. If you're in the ethereal plane, you can't interact with the prime material plane. Otherwise, ghosts would be quite the hassle.
I'm sorry. It's not any day you see floating parchment.
But
Then
it
we
was
have
not for
a-
you.
And I suppose it's not every day you're snooping around. Things you shouldn't know.
You're just holding apartments in the middle of the street. What are you doing investigating this floating parchment?
Oh,
She rolls up the piece of parchment.
And also, it is every day we investigate stuff we shouldn't be.
I just guess I tend to pick up things that are a bit less noticeable at times.
All good. As citizens of the Waterdeep, then.
I guess I follows one now, probably.
What more did you overhear then? As she takes another step closer to you.
Here, I just saw parchment.
Ah.
Albeit it's not any day someone appears out of nothingness in front of me either.
I suppose not. I'll make sure it's not a habit of mine. What's your history?
I was
11.
born about 20 years ago.
What's your history score? Sorry, I'm asking as a DM. What's the passive history?
11.
11. Okay.
Like, does something resemble, like, from stories maybe I heard, of a hag?
Wow, now you don't have to be mean either.
She certainly does not look like a hag, but you do know that hags can change their appearance. Yes, so it is possible.
Like we
If
kind
she's a
of
shapeshifter,
experienced
can we
last time.
grab her and use her as a key?
Perhaps.
I must say, at least I dig your hair color changing hair?
And who is this one?
I'll take it
Now,
as a compliment. Oh,
it
the
is a
rest of you show
compliment.
up? Yeah. Rest of you show up as well.
I miss having hair.
Really? We can buy a wig for you if you want.
It's not the same. Just feels strange.
Can I
That's
try
why I
to?
wear this. Sorry.
Can I try with the prestidigitation to make like a markings on his head that look like hair?
Okay, in fairness. Yeah, now I can see the Samurais Riders not would be a hag. It's very hard to judge without, like, sometimes see it.
Yeah. Are you familiar with the carnival here?
We've been here a few times. I think even the frozen bunny on the horse won a eating contest.
Yes. He also puked all over the place, but
What was it again?
You're quite
He
a
unveiled
perceptive.
a foul deception involving mechanical ogres. Was it an ogre?
Cyclops.
Cyclops.
wait, we forgot to check with the umbrella thing to see if there was a nimble right here.
I think the lady was talking.
Yes.
You're quite a perceptive one.
I just gently lift the nimble right umbrella in the background.
Yeah. You can just run off and search with it. She says, perhaps you will do. Are you able to provide me with a favor?
Depends on the kind of favor.
I'm in a bit of a predicament with the members of the carnival. I need to ascertain their intent. It's a matter of great import. And it is this moment, Eowyn, as you look upon this figure, you know who this is. Someone you have never met before, but you have heard of.
Oh, okay.
This is Lariel Silverhand, the Open Lord of Waterdeep, the head of state. For
I know
Waterdeep,
who you
just
are.
standing there.
You refused a meeting with me.
Just
You know how-
standing there before you.
You know how much trouble I had to go through because you don't want to meet with me.
You say that?
Mm-hmm. Wait, so it's a woman?
Can't say I recall. If it was of grave import, I assure you that my retainers would have provided you with an audience.
It is of quite import.
Who is
Oh.
this?
I guess I do a short explanation about this being the new Open Lord.
Open lords are considered rulers, right? Of
Yeah.
the
Something like
Yeah.
that.
It is the top ruler of Waterdeep.
So, any
Oh.
reason that this one is out and about on the street?
Well, if you let her talk about her predicament, we might figure out why she's here.
Never. We must keep spouting nonsense until she gets bored and offers the job to someone else. After the introduction, I will have dismounted and bowed quite reverentially. I'm still a paladin.
She greets you and just as for you to stand up again. takes in the formality, but you get the sense that at the moment she just seems to you get the sense that she sometimes enjoys being away from the formalities.
Mm-hmm.
And she speaks so plainly to you. Yes, they've provided me with a offer. And I need to know why. It's not easy to ascertain their true nature. She tosses the piece of parchment to you, the coiled up letter. Have a read for yourself.
To who?
To Zaran.
Well, first I can't have the parchment, and now I get the parchment.
Why was the parchment floating, by the way?
Because
I'll
she was
take-
invisible.
I'll take a quick peek, but also trying to block in case the guides trailing us would be able to read this far.
Yeah. You open it up. What languages do you know?
3.
It's not written in common.
I know Dwarfish and what was it, Draconic?
Yeah, you don't recognize the language. Oh well, you can't read the language. You would recognize the language though. It's written in Elven.
I
Hey,
can
man.
read it. Oh, also the elf, I suppose.
Wait, you can read Elven too? Right, so Abraham knows Elven, Dwarfish.
Celestial.
That's
And common twice for some reason.
Yeah. Just to make sure that you really, really, really will know it.
yeah. I think these two are better at reading this language than me, apparently.
Show me. And I ask
Yeah.
Abahel to stand behind me so you can also read and block whoever might be reading. No?
So the letter reads as follows. To Her Ageless Majesty, Lariel Silverhand, the Witch Queen of Stornante, the Lady of the North, she of the Seven Sisters, chosen of Mistra, and open Lord of Waterdeep. Your spies are to be commended. Rest assured, my presence in your fair city is purely recreational, though if fortune smiles upon me, this visit could benefit us both. Your predecessor left the City of Splendor in a sordid state, but you have done wonders to lift up the spirit of the citizenry during your short time in office. I know how politics offends you, so forgive me for taking this opportunity to point out the obvious. We have both made our city stronger, and strike back at he who robbed Waterdavians of their wealth and dignity. I speak, of course, of that dirty sack of rats, Daggled Neverember. That's the phrase you used to describe him yesterday to the emissary from Mirabar, is it not? Evidently, my spies are also to be commended. Why let Neverember get away with his crimes against Luskan and Waterdeep? Can we be allies, if not friends? These are the questions that haunt my dreams, as surely as I haunt yours. Sincerely, J.
J as in
Only the letter J.
yeah, but J as in yeah. He would go with the,
Oh,
the
right,
English
yeah.
problem.
The J from John Quan.
Yes,
Junk,
that
junk,
J,
junk.
and not the J from Jam.
No, it is the J from Jam, but not the J from
Yeah, the
Jam.
letter J.
Oh, is it not? Wait,
This
isn't-
one. I think.
Wait, where did you post it? Oh, that J.
In chat.
Ronkwan doesn't have. Never mind. I'm tired too.
Yeah, Ron Quan doesn't have a J, but I somehow managed to convince you that it did.
But it had a G.
Uh,
Did you say
Well-
the carnival sent you this letter?
Yes. The one who runs it. Jarlax.
Right. We didn't really ask him once if the Ronkwan was his real name.
how does Jarlax look like again?
Can find it.
Have we met him?
Yeah.
No, but maybe.
Didn't we just
Oh,
come from the guy?
Well, that's Ron Quan. But
Well-
someone must have at least posted how Jarlax would have been.
You haven't met anyone by the name of Jarlax, no?
But we
Jarlaxle.
we asked him last session, no, that was his real name, the Ronkwan. No, I thought we did.
Sorry, but so I'm not sure what the handiest way is of calling you Lady Laurel, or just Laurel, Silverhands.
I go by Silverhand.
Okay. Can you give a short description of how Jiblibub
Jarul.
Jarul looks like
Jarlaxle.
Jarlax? Because as far as we heard, there was someone else that ran the carnival, right?
So you've spoken to him then? And you took what he said at his word?
I don't think I entirely trust him.
You shouldn't. The one who runs the carnival goes by Jarlaxle. He's a drow. Comes from Menzoberranzan, one of the drow cities beneath Sword Coast.
I
Can I
think this all is starting to make more sense.
make a tiny miniature Ronkwan in my hand?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say like this.
Yes.
Why would he give us a different name? That will make it very confusing.
Well,
That's the point. So you've spoken to him then? Of what? What did you speak to him of?
I feel like the letter describes probably part of what. But also, one of his followers is trailing us at the moment, so
mm-hmm.
Well, he's just like that. Has spies everywhere.
mhm.
Even if you tried, he would still be able to find you if he wanted to.
May I okay, so like I don't want to assume, but I think he might be also the murderer running around here.
That is kind of assuming, you know.
She
Well,
looks
have
a
you
little
seen?
bit.
I thought you didn't see the murderer.
I only saw a cloaked figure with silver hair, and as far as I know, that's the only person with silver hair I've seen in a long time that uses a gun. Oh wait, shooty mini cannon.
Mini cannon.
Shooting
Is
mini
that
cannon.
Wouldn't
is that a
surprise.
character in this module as well?
Given the names that are in this module, I wouldn't put it past them.
It's now forever dubbed shooting mini cannon. Can't go back now.
I wouldn't be too quick to accuse anyone of having silver hair, though. I kind of glance meaningfully at the visitor.
Which hair does she have?
Grey.
Silver
Grey
gray. I don't
and
know. That's
grey and rainbows.
Grey
It's a
and
grey and a rainbow. All our hair goes into more colors, right?
really? Wait,
It's slightly different coloration as it flows down at the back of her head.
the image is the silver hand lady?
Yes, the image is Lara Silverhand.
Damn. Is she dressed like this at the moment?
Yes.
And she's not standing I commented on
there's some.
her nice wardrobe. I very much agree with it. Really? She's gonna ignore me again?
she likes Sarah, not you.
Everyone likes me. I'm
She
the cute little one.
acknowledges the compliment and then continues to talk business. She doesn't seem to care much for the pleasantries. He's tried
Please sign
repeatedly.
this.
Tried repeatedly to get Luskin into the Lord's Alliance. That's what he speaks of, at least.
Wait, who's Luskin?
City.
That's the city from basically from Ghost of Saltmarsh. It was where the Sea Princes originated.
I think we sent some people there, right?
You didn't send somebody to Luskin, no, but
No? Where did we
You-
send those people we found on the island?
The ones we saved?
Yeah, I thought they went off to Luskan afterwards.
Oh no, they went to Thornhold.
Was it Thornhold? I thought.
Yeah, if you're thinking about Firewatch Isle, where you found the drowned.
Potentially. There was like a cleric person.
Yes, that was Firewatch Isle and to Thornhold. That was one city that's closer to Waterdeep, on the south of the map.
Oh, I remember Thornhold. So I just thought we'd send them off to
Mhm.
Luskan. And I thought that's where they had been intercepted by the Sea Princes. But I guess not.
I'm trying to think of other stuff, but
Maybe
nothing
we
else.
lied and we told them we sent them to Luskan.
Maybe.
can't
I don't know.
remember.
I don't have notes of that, so I don't know.
I believe you said you sent them to Thornhold. I believe so, but that is something far in the past.
But it could be relevant any day now, right?
Yeah, it might be relevant.
Is this taking place simultaneously or
Yes.
afterwards? Or, right.
Simultaneously in the same year.
Technically, our characters both
Uh,
live in the same universe.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, this would be a couple of months after, I think, the story in Ghost of Saltmarsh.
So we hear of the great deeds of a warlock, a cat, and a half-elf-ish looking thing.
That's why he's murdering half elves.
I was gonna say, if I've done my job correctly, you've mostly heard about the glorious deeds of a warlock and his friends.
Yep.
I think it's hard to ignore like the smaller elf with a really ragged looking blade.
Mm-hmm. That is going insane sometimes and then murders most of the city.
I never murdered most of the city.
Well, you don't know how that went
so-
afterwards.
That sounds like the kind of thing we'd want to keep out of the press.
True, true.
Well, too few people travel to Saltmarsh anyways to find out. So.
Either way, back to the original point.
Sorry.
At least it now makes sense why he didn't show us his real form the first time.
He can also shape change his name.
Given you have spoken to him, evidently, I would very much be interested to learn of what, or to learn of his intent as far as you can ascertain. He's quite a difficult person to read.
Yes.
I mean, like, as far as I get, he wants to enter the vault for something.
Given
But it's not money.
Yes. Also.
given the apparent effectiveness of his spies, is there any way we can safely discuss this?
I'm sure I can arrange something. Come if you wouldn't mind. As she turns around and just starts to walk, and casts a spell on herself, changing in her appearance. She cast a disguise self spell.
Everyone is a shapeshifter!
It's okay, Abraham. Nothing is
Which-
real. It's
How do
just
you
in
feel
your
about
mind.
being a key, ma'am?
I beg your pardon?
There's a door that we can only unlock with possibly with a shapeshifter.
Maybe let's talk about this when it's safe as well.
I
Yes.
assure you, given my vast plethora of skills at my disposal, I am not a shapeshifter.
But you look different now.
If a
All right. That's gonna.
shapeshifts, do the clothes also change?
You can change their appearance.
Yeah, as far as I'm aware, she's a shapeshifter.
Yeah. Okay.
Glad we.
I can think of no way to explain how she changed her appearance.
Okay, that happened.
As she will just wander a bit through town, and as you enter back into the trade ward, she will wander up to a seemingly inconspicuous house nearby and just open the door. Door just opens up as she lifts her hand and walks in.
I want a door that listens to me like that.
You could
Mhm.
technically have the mage hand on the other side and then make it disappear before anyone sees it.
No, I don't think she casted anything, so.
Also, you have to be able to see the location your mage hand is.
Anyways, how do we get your horse through the door?
The horse is very happy to wait outside.
My.
Oh, let's go then.
If you see anyone following us, let me know, good horse.
Kick it.
With your passive perception of 13.
Stand in front of the door. And then kick it.
As out of interest, would you? Passive perception of 11. Would you have let me summon a mastiff?
You could have summoned a mastiff instead.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can choose any of those.
But
Yeah.
don't recommend trying to ride it.
Yeah, that wouldn't work.
Well, funnily, you are supposed to be able to mount it either way.
Well,
I think it still obeys the normal rules of carry capacity, though. So, like, yes, you could sit on it, but it wouldn't be able to move.
I mean, it says Justine serves as a mount, both in combat and out.
Yeah, it doesn't have magically have the strength to carry. It has to have the physical capabilities to do so.
Could use it as a mount for Hopper.
Well, let's go into the magical portal door.
Magical portal door.
She steps inside, and as you walk inside as well, it is a lot nicer inside of here than you initially expected.
It's bigger on the inside. No?
And the walls as well appear to be made of stone rather than wood, like it looked like from the outside.
Say,
As the last of you take a step in, the door shuts close and then vanishes. as
magical
just a
portal door.
stone wall remains. You may speak more plainly here. As she drops the disguise again.
Are we inside the castle now?
Of sorts.
If I concentrate, can I still talk to my horse?
And what's the limitations for speaking to the horse?
It has to be within 1 mile of me.
Yeah, you would be within 1 mile of the horse.
Good horse.
Told you it was a good horse.
Very good horse.
Some chairs just float out from where they stand against the walls, and a table, and get seated right next to a table at the center of the room. As Lariel just takes a seat.
Well, do you guys want to explain? Or do we have me explain it? The person that's probably the least good with words, apparently. Well, maybe Abigail has words.
I
Well-
am great with words.
I guess a chat with her is long overdue, even though the
See?
subject is going to be different.
Why are you lying?
Deception.
Fooled you into thinking I'm great with words.
Yep. Okay.
Ha
I guess I will introduce everyone then. Greetings.
Mhm.
Did she already know Saren, by the way? Did it look like she did?
Not that you can tell now.
So Saren just happened to see. What a coincidence.
Saren sees everything.
Yeah.
I know where you hide your stones.
Yes. I shift a bit on my chair, I guess now.
Abigail also shifts a bit, thinking that Sarah knows about his rock collection.
Oh. So I guess I'm like, okay, I am Eowyn Alisdar of the Alisdar family. This is Saren. I don't know if Saren has a last name.
I do, but you know, it's fine.
Okay. It's fine.
I have a feeling she probably knows already who we are.
And then the stiff board that was on the horse that didn't come with us, that was Hopper. And then we have Abigail. Mystery upon mystery. Do we intend to tell her everything?
I smile.
Like everything?
I mean, the question is more, do you trust the shape-shifting drow more? Or do you trust the open lord of the city more?
Well, the drow did have an audience with me, and the other one declined me, so she's starting with a negative view here. Then again, it's not like it's secret anymore that everyone's about after the vault by now. So I turn to Silverhand. So about 60% of your city is looking for a vault of your predecessor.
So I have heard.
It's are you interested in the vault? I looked very intently.
I would, as any, be interested, and especially given my position here in Waterdeep. It is a great disservice to the city that the former lord hidden away his ill-gotten gains.
So you intend to give the gold back to the people?
Let's
I
not go
would
that far.
intend to give it back to Waterdeep, yes, for the betterment of the city, of course.
I am Waterdeep.
She telling the truth?
Make an insight check.
I did.
16?
Read the inside check. Wait.
again, as with as with Jarlaxle, she's also very hard to read. They're just really good at just masking their emotions and general general disposition. But you are inclined to trust her,
Oh my
even if
goodness,
it's a
she's
little
using
bit
a
hard.
trust spell.
Exactly why.
I mean, even if she wasn't using a trust spell, I feel like if she didn't like it, she would
Ooh,
already
shit.
have fallen over.
I'm very difficult to topple.
Yes, that I can kind of assume. Yes, not easy to topple something that large.
Unless there's a brain eater mind flare thingy. Apparently, then I fall over very easily.
Have you
Stupid
met a
Lloyd.
mind flayer yet?
Yeah,
We met one.
we all met one.
Did we? Oh yeah,
Yes.
the one that kind of was like, yeah, screw this, I'm out.
Mm-hmm. Bored now.
It was probably for the
Eats
better.
Hopper's brain. Knock Arahel unconscious.
It was probably for the better that the mind flare went away.
Probably.
You never know. You never know.
Especially given it was supposed to be a level 1 encounter.
Utterly ridiculous. I don't know why they are so desperate to kill level 1 players in D&D.
Yeah.
The experience.
Hmm.
But yeah. Basically, as far as I get the sense from Wong Quan, he's after something in the vault that isn't gold. But I don't know what else is in the vault. Knowledge? Power? Infinite wisdom?
The rock itself?
Nice hats.
It's difficult to know exactly what he's after. We don't have full records of all things that the former lord stored within it. He's done quite well to keep it concealed and hidden. Yes, I get the sense that Jarlaxle is he's after something. Whether that
Probably.
be something within the vaults, or perhaps, as the letter implies, some leverage.
Hmm.
Well, I mean, apparently everything seems to revolve around the vault. So,
Yep.
I think I think as far as I remember, he had a contract with a noble for the vault thing.
Ah, yes, indeed.
A contract with someone, you say? That's news to me.
He didn't specify much about it, but that's all I know. Oh, and that there was apparently a cult in the city.
A few cults. Then again, half of them are like dead on the street quite often.
They are insufficient in the art of combat.
Hmm.
We are aware of various cults that reside within Waterdeep, and they are dealt with in due course.
How about your lords? How many of them can you really trust?
Probably not a single one,
Hmm.
but that is the nature of politics.
She's not really helping her cause, huh, if you think about it.
Perhaps not. So you do remember something. I just have to clarify because last session,
Mhm.
Roquan or Jarlaxle did mention and send out his two of his gunslingers to meet with a prospecting client. So you would know this.
Right, right.
But I mean, sorry, prospecting. I need to find the word again. What it means.
I assume he means perspective.
Perspective. Okay.
Perspective would be a potential client.
Yeah.
A prospecting client would be a client who is searching for gold or other valuable resources.
Okay.
Oh, in a way, they're both, right?
I had the wrong word then.
Oh,
Perspective. Okay.
because the other thing we know is if the 2% people that left gave you the parchment, it means he wants to be a client.
Perhaps. Interesting for me. Interesting that he considers me such. Well, he's always had a knack for trade.
It's kind of hard to figure out where everyone is on this page, in fairness.
Like us or them?
Everyone.
I don't know. I'm suspicious of
When so
everything.
much is at stake, yes, I do not assume everyone will be so straightforward. Are you aware of the magnitude of the supposed vault? Or the history of it?
I mean, know it's huge. Considering literally everyone is talking or searching for it.
The amount of blood already spilled in its pursuance speaks to its magnitude.
Maybe you are good with words.
Very much so. The streets have been ablaze with conflict. In his time as Open Lord Waterdeep, it is alleged that Daggold embezzled at least 500,000 gil.
Gil?
Gil?
Gold.
Gold.
500,000 gold.
I don't know. Gil
Yeah, we're
could have
playing
been
Final
another.
Fantasy now.
Dragons. Gold.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm completely in the head.
you never know. I mean, if dragon is 1 gold, maybe Gil is the platinum or something. So
No.
Legends speak of a warrior of light.
No. And it's supposedly hidden somewhere within the city.
Did this
Hence why people
legend
search.
come up with him, or was that legend already there before?
It came during his rule.
Have you considered that it might have been him that came with the rumor?
I would not think he would do such a thing.
Really? You despise him, but yeah. Okay.
Well, it would be, I suppose, pointless if he embezzled all the coin and created a rumor for others to try to loot his vaults. However, he was sometimes lacking a little bit of forethought. It is possible, although I would doubt it, given his greedy tendencies.
Well, if everyone else is looking for a non-existing vault, then I mean, he can basically do whatever he wants with his money. Quite a ingenious plan. Yes, Eowyn still doesn't believe that the vault is real. While carrying an actual rock that tells her that it is.
Ariel just says, the vault is very much real,
Have you
from
seen
all
it?
that we are aware of. But its location and content is sparred in legends and mystery.
Well, so I guess the question is more like, what now?
Do we trust this lady?
I mean, I trust this lady more than one Quan, at least.
Technically, he never told us that we could not ask for help. Now, if that's an oversight on his side, that's a different conversation.
I mean, don't you find it weird that someone is going to watch us constantly?
Well, I'm pretty sure that we've been watched by at least 3 parties by now, so the privacy is a bit on the low side in this city.
We appear to have an uncanny ability to land in the right place at the right time.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
And what has that brought you then?
Quite the adventure. And a lot of dead bodies.
Suppose you can land in the right place at the right time. Again.
I mean, maybe we did.
She eyes you up and down intently as you say that.
The hand of Lathander is often unseen.
I mean, it's not anyone that was going to notice a floating parchment, right?
How is
Yeah.
it that the parchment was floating, visible, but not her? Isn't it that usually invisibility spell makes everything invisible?
She was invisible before given the parchment.
But if you touch something, you lose invisibility, no?
No, if you take the attack action or
Get hit.
cast a spell, you lose
Right.
invisibility.
I mean, in fairness, it could also have been greater invisibility, and then she didn't even have any of those problems.
Out there too. Okay.
But greater invisibility lasts a lot shorter duration.
Sure.
I must admit, for reasons I cannot quite figure out, I feel I trust her.
Okay.
I mean, I have more reason to trust Laurel than I have more reason to trust Ronquan.
And what is your interest in all of this? I'll ask her. Would you like Jalex to get out of your city?
I'm interested to know what he's scheming.
Well,
His presence disturbs me. Given his past actions and a steeped history in less than reputable events.
and you were not the one that invited the carnival into the city?
No,
They just
they
show up.
travel around the shores of
Hmm.
Sword Coast and beyond. I was just informed that Jarlaxle has made his entry.
Right.
I wish to know what he's doing, what he's planning.
At least opening the vault in a soonish time frame. Or at least he wants to be present when the vault is opened.
Did you say that?
And he did not want the coin at all.
He cared for something else than the coin.
Interesting. If you could do me a favor and find out what is it is exactly he intends. Or perhaps, should you be capable of doing so, given the information you've provided so far, be there when he attempts to open the vault. Would be greatly interested in the information you could provide and also perhaps allow me some eyes to look upon the events that would transpire.
As far as I'm aware, the plan was for us to be the ones opening the vault in the first place.
Yeah, indeed.
So, just to mention, this is the first time in the conversation with Lariel that you explicitly state that you are have the capabilities to open the vault.
Technically, we didn't say that. We said we would open it. Not that we have the capabilities.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Uh-huh. It's all in the details.
you would be involved in some ways to open it, if that was your intent. Because up until this point, you have been really cagey about what exactly you were involved in.
We have not yet mentioned the Stone of Golorr to you yet, have we, Laria?
No, you have not.
We are good at keeping secret.
Like, like outside, I'm fine playing open card with her. But obviously, if you guys don't want to, I won't.
Can I think aloud? No, not
Yeah,
think
stop
aloud. Can
speaking.
I can I not think aloud and ask the stone what he thinks? Is it gonna reply? Dun, dun, dun.
So, for clarity's sake, what it thinks of what exactly?
Of this whole situation, if it's trustworthy to get another party involved. Then again, I have still many questions for the stone.
Get another party involved.
I mean, this is the biggest party involved. It's her city.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I have asked a question that Lloyd.
It's difficult to know what it would answer. It will answer you with a sense of ambivalence, like it kind of doesn't care. You get the sense that it has, well, it has a mind of its own and an intent and a will, but whatever you asked it now doesn't seem to interfere with any of its goals or something like that.
Right. Well then, dear Lady Silverhand, upon reaching the city, we have basically been thrown from one situation in another and have, funny enough, accidentally stepped into the part where people are very interested in opening the vault, and apparently we might have the capabilities of doing so.
It's
If
been
we can find
great.
it.
That is certainly an intriguing development. I have heard some discussion about more parties than we initially expected to be part of the street war, so to speak.
Well, we're not really involved in the war.
Perhaps you were but one of the involved parties then, whether willingly or not.
I think it all started with an explosion. And
As
then,
it so often does.
yeah. And then it just snowballed from there. Without the snow then. But
So tell me
alas,
then, how is Jarl Axel involved in this then?
he seems to be the one party that wants that vault open, no matter what.
He appears to be the one party that didn't attack us on sight.
Also, yes. And seems to want us to stay involved and open it with his assistance.
By being the only party that didn't attack us on sight, he's also one of the few parties who's had witnesses to our behaviour.
Well,
And
it's
well,
protection, right? It's self-defense.
You're considerably skilled at your craft then, I take it.
We are very efficient at self-defense.
And
Very
rolling
good.
carpets.
and apparently watching everything happening around us.
I can imagine really good horses.
Have you made any arrangements you need to keep with Jarl Axel?
Did we? He never made us sign anything, I guess.
As I say, I wasn't really paying attention. I was thinking of my horse.
I assure you, he does not need anything in writing for it to be an agreement.
As far
Yeah.
as
tends
I'm
to-
aware,
He tends to make heads roll.
Yes, he
When he
kind
doesn't
of
get his way.
strong-armed us into this. I have the feeling. In our first meetup, I think he offered us
I think he tricked us.
gold. He did say something about gold. 5,000 gold, I think.
He tricked
Each?
us essentially into mutual cooperation by
Yes.
not interfering with the other party.
I'm not sure.
And in return for essentially doing the dirty work, he would give us golden axes.
Which is strange because he has such a well-functioning henchman.
Intriguing that he would keep you involved instead of, well, getting rid of you and taking it for himself. Or
Well,
what
he-
has changed with him? She
He got us
ponders.
involved in the first way. He could have just left us be, and that was that.
I mean, there must be something in there that has an like in the vault that is so important. But I guess if he wants to use leverage, as you said before, then no one else can know about it, so he can use it to, what you said before, achieve what he wants. Probably by forcing you or some other parties to allow something in the city. Or what did you say before? Like allow Thingy in the Lord Alliance?
He's been inquiring about getting Luskin involved in the Lord's Alliance, which has been blatantly refused given their past history of piracy.
Do you have interest at your spot? As in, how easily is it to overthrow one of your position?
Exceedingly challenging.
But you did it.
I
Hinting
was
at your-
elected by the masked lords to replace the previous lord that left his station.
Oh,
Sorry,
he
just
left.
as a sentence, that is amazing. I was elected by the mystery people. Trust me.
Wait,
It was
what
very
was the-
democratic.
Wait, the Masked Lords, right? Didn't we go to like a Masked Lords theater or something? Or the Seven Masks theater?
Yes,
Why does everyone like masks?
because all the
So,
lords wear masks.
For the just for clarity's sake, it isn't an elected body. Like the masked lords isn't an elected body at all. It's just basically the parliament, but their identities are hidden. No one knows who the masked lords are.
Except the open
Well-
lord, no?
Well, except the open lord and the other people that worked with the masked lords, right? But their identity remains hidden. So the open lord is the only one that's the front-facing figure of the leadership here.
Well,
What do the other the lords do actually? What's their function? I never
The
really
open
got
lord,
it.
what their function is,
No, not the open lord. The other ones.
the masked lords.
Yeah.
They function as a parliament.
So they
They
vote.
govern. They rule over, well, what changes are to be made in the city and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
But the open
useless.
lord has to be the one that fronts it to the public, basically.
Oh. Yeah.
So you can think of it like, well, it's a parliamentary system, but it's not elected. It's like that lovely House of Lords in the UK.
Does that still exist?
House of Lords don't actually elect anyone, though.
Oh, they don't. No, they don't have a leader. I suppose there's somebody
They,
that.
they don't elect anyone. That's my point. Like they are they're just a second branch of the legal system. I guess is the most accurate way of putting it.
Mm. Yeah. No. Yeah. Okay.
Huh.
And Lariel says that I think this provides Waterdeep with a golden opportunity.
Hey, because it's a vault full of gold.
And given that I see no reason to put undue harm upon you at present, continue about your business as intended. And I would recommend to not cross Jarlaxle.
This is the first
For-
person actually that says don't cross me, but don't cross him.
Because if you do, you will need quite the protection to keep your heads, so to speak.
Yes, from flying bullets, it seems.
However, I would be greatly interested in whatever transpires when you do evidently open the vault. Are you capable of contacting anyone by means of magic?
I can talk to my horse if it's within a mile of me.
I can talk to you if you stay within 5 miles. How big is the city?
That's also not infinite, right?
You would have to open up a communication with the person first, and then you can communicate afterwards up to 5 miles.
That's true.
For basically 5 minutes. It
Mm.
lasts 5 minutes.
So
And here we go. I should have kept ascending.
Yep.
My god. You're doing this on purpose, Lloyd.
well, it would be a natural question to ask.
Yeah. Natural.
Fine, give us the sending stones.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we don't have any communication. But yeah. Also, he did talk about your spies before. And I don't think I'm gonna get the answer from Charlock Wangquan himself. But there is still a murderer that's murdered people with silver hair and is vaguely familiar to Charlock.
But there is a lot of people murdering a lot of people in this.
A murder in the city. Who were the victims then?
Elves and half-elves.
Suppose Drow usually have a bit of a hatred against other elven kin. However, Jarlax isn't likely to just murder for the sake of murdering.
Maybe one of his henchmen is going rogue.
You
I
should
mean-
be aware that probably everyone who's involved here at the carnival is in truth a drow, not just Jarlaxle.
Like,
Damn.
It might not be him, but I haven't seen any other drow with silver hair yet.
Yes, like everyone shapeshifts and disguises themselves here on a daily basis, so point in case in front of us.
But that's a spell.
Yeah, but still, there's probably other things, right? There are items.
There,
I
there
mean-
are items that can change your appearance, yes.
Like, if someone wants to change the appearance and murder people, why would they wear a cloak? And why would they use an identifiable weapon that no one else but them apparently have?
Well, you don't know. It could be that someone stole a weapon from there.
Well, yeah. But,
I'm not helping him.
like, I, even if it's not him, he might not give away because it might be one of his group. And I'd rather have, like, knowledge that if something goes wrong, I don't get a bullet in the back of my head.
You're saying we should buy you a helmet.
Well, isn't that the whole point already? That we might get a bullet in the head either way with that guy? If something goes wrong. I mean,
So, if we're talking about eyes, I don't mind being the eyes for you, Silverhand. But can you help being a bit of eyes for us too?
I'll see to that he doesn't get too free of hands within the city. After all, he's overstaying his welcome.
and you have the means to push him out?
With sufficient force, I'm sure I can do so. However, I am much more intrigued by the fact that he willingly comes here and then seeks me out.
Have you tried getting
Although he doesn't have the backbone to meet me.
you could invite him.
For the moment, I would like to see where this goes. I would need to know when you would attempt to open this vault.
Well, I think we need to solve a few riddles. How well do you know the city?
Quite well. Perhaps I could aid you.
Well, you wanted to play open card, so do I show her the paper with the riddle? At least the keys?
I mean, if we're playing open, then might as well. Because it's the same goal, right? Even if someone betrays us in the end, we also want the vault open, so everyone wants the vault open. So if it's open, it all is going to burst loose either way.
Yeah, that's indeed probably gonna happen. We're gonna get backstabbed left, right, center. Maybe we could just sidestep and let everyone just convene in one point and they all kill each other and we don't even have to do anything.
Like, the only benefit we have is currently there is Laurel that knows and Ronquan that knows. And I doubt that either of them is going to go like, hey guys, I now have to open the vault. Can we all meet at the vault's location at 7 tomorrow? Bring me some dinner, please.
At least some cookies.
It's going to be a wild night, guys.
Yeah.
So might as well just show her the hints, I think.
Okay. Is there any particular hint you want solved more than the others? Otherwise, I'll just roll to see where what you can think of.
I feel like the location is probably the most important, but that's my choice.
Yeah.
Like if we can't find the location, pretty much everything else is redundant.
Hmm.
And once we have the location, you know,
We can ask daily if we
Worst-
have the right
yeah,
items.
worst case scenario, we just throw things at the vault until it opens.
Yeah. You read the hint for the location. She ponders for a bit. I can think of a couple of locations, but there's
Tune
one
in
that
next week for the dramatic conclusion.
no, I'll give you this. But there's one that I think fits all of the criteria much better than the others. And just let me get the name right, because I'll have to check the map.
I'm suddenly much less trusting of her competence.
She's just like,
Hold on.
She says, I would imagine it's in the lower halls of the Fields of Triumph. It's quite an extravagant location with loads of subterranean tunnels and areas that haven't been used for much than just storage.
Is that different to the halls of triumph?
I think it's
The
really
Field of
close.
Triumph is the stadium or the Colosseum.
Hey!
The
that
House
where-
of Heroes is the temple where you.
Is
That was
where
correct. Good, good, good,
So,
good.
Yeah.
Is that the same place the event will be then?
Yes, the event that's happening in. Well, it would be
Is that tomorrow?
2 more long rests.
Oh, okay.
Oh, three more long rests, so 2 days until it starts.
Is access to the field of heroes or whatever otherwise restricted?
For the moment, given the preparation that's for the coming events, yes. However, I'm sure some restrictions can be lifted.
If not, we can just send a tiny lizard person in.
Don't call me that.
Well, you're not tiny.
Don't call
Lizard.
Copper that.
He's a rabbit.
Isn't your flying lizard guy dead? Wasn't he
I don't have a
murdered?
flying lizard guy.
Yes, the other dude.
No, he's currently in jail, I think.
Is it because he's dead?
Yeah, no, he's dead. Right? Got murdered like a day or so ago.
No, he's in jail.
Sure. Okay.
Have you
Don't know.
talked to him recently?
Donna literally said 5 hours ago they picked him up and brought him to jail.
Oh, I thought they said they picked him up because he was dead.
A lot can happen in 5 hours.
Oh yeah, Dernan is gonna go like, hey there, he's in that room, can you murder him please? Thanks. And then drags out a corpse out of the yawning portal. Yep, see you guys later. Comes to me like, yeah, they picked him up today.
Anything can happen. I used to have this paper bird that could send messages. It seems like I'm getting
One
rid.
message.
Yeah, but I'm getting rid of all my messaging abilities.
I mean, technically you have... Didn't you get sending stones to only like to thingy?
Yeah, to Blackstaff, but yeah, that's going nowhere.
Do we want to start a collection of sending stones, or can we just make it just able to see what someone of us sees or something?
Lariel would, given she's quite confident at the location, she would essentially have her spies inform her whenever you are present there.
Uh-huh.
So you don't need to contact her at all.
Given who our friend is, I imagine I imagine he's not unaware of the fact that we have met with you.
I very much assume he's paid attention, given you were already being followed,
You think he set up
and he
that we
orchestrated
accidentally
the
met?
events.
Hmm?
That
Like-
would be rather clever of him.
Would he have known you would have come looking around?
He arranged for a meeting this evening,
Ah,
although he didn't have the spine to show up himself. Perhaps I found who I wanted to speak to regardless.
Well, if something is lost, I'm good at finding something.
hmm.
Probably some perspective, I can hide in. I could probably sleep and notice what people are doing in like 4 streets away.
Maybe.
Wow.
You have extremely high passive perception. It's ridiculous. But yeah, I think this is a good place to stop for today, unless you
Mhm.
have something you really want to ask before we end.
No, I don't think so.
What are the colors of her hair?
Silver, which technically is also
Gray into green into red into blue into.
my.
You would see that her hair, since you have high passive perception again, you would notice that her hair ever so faintly changed color on occasion, like small little strands of hair just flickering between different colors,
No.
while most of it remained this silvery color.
Wait, what?
There is a lot to this character you do not know.
I'm terrified. How many strands are there? How many like, things are there? Is she a dragon?
You have no idea.
Is she Tiamat?
Wow, that went real quick somewhere.
I don't know.
I think we'll stop here then, as she would eventually have you leave and go about your day.
Okay, we go to bed.
Yeah, we'll stop here.
Yeah, so for next week, like I said last week, if we can do it on Sunday coming week.
Yeah, I'll see if I have time. My parents might show up on Sunday
Oh,
visiting.
Like if you
So
know ahead and you can't just do it on Wednesday with everyone else, just record it for me.
yeah, or alternatively, I could do it during the day on Saturday.
I had the same problem because then I'm in the train.
Oh, right. And Monday doesn't. No, Monday doesn't work regardless. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'll message you when I know more. Probably get informed about it later this week.
Yeah. I'll just assume for Sunday during the day next week, and if not, I'll see a message.
Yeah.
You want to put that in the schedule for maybe next week Sunday?
I can put it into the schedule now. Let's see if I can get this timestamp to work again.
For 8 in the morning. At least you don't have to worry about that because when do we start in the day again usually? Like, when do we usually start during the middays?
At
Uh,
1 or 2.
Oh yeah.
started once at 12:30, I think. Once. No, wait. That was Andy's
I'll
time.
just assume 1 or something. if 12 at Sunday works for Andy.
Should be fine.
April the 2nd. It's not a joke anymore.
Huh?
Well, April the 2nd. It's the Sunday next week.
Oh, yeah, not a joke anymore. I keep forgetting people do the whole joke thing.
I don't really, but it's fun to mention the day.
Today.
Day.
Hmm.
At least Andy has a horse now.
Yes, indeed.
How are you gonna name the steed?
Binky.
Pinky.
Pinky.
You will have to do horse
Wait,
noises.
that's wrong. Ugh.
You're 1 hour
Fine,
ahead
I'll change the name.
to the brain. Why can't you summon 2 horses?
Well,
It's
technically
very
you just
difficult
need a
to ride.
carriage or something. No?
I believe like my warhorse can pretty easily carry all of us on a carriage.
There we go.
Kind of want it.
A carriage or cart increases your carrying capacity by 5 times, which means it'll be £2,500, which is more than enough for us and a lot of other things without reducing its speed.
And the whole contents of the vault.
I mean, how do you even oh, it's a large beast. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's large. He's big boy.
He's a big boy.
The
Big
whole...
and beautiful.
And apparently intelligent.
Yeah. Int 5. That's
6.
almost 6. It's almost as much as me.
I know Awen had 10 int, right?
Int.
Yes.
I think Hopper also has 10. I guess
Could
I'm
have
the
had,
schmuck.
Yeah,
13?
everyone's smart. I get it.
but then I didn't. I still don't know why I took wisdom. Why
Because
is that?
perception is usually more beneficial than everything in does.
It's just good all round.
Except every single thing that I had to do currently was int. So next time I'm taking int.
Okay. But then, like, Lloyd is going to be like, you walk into the poison trap because you didn't notice it with your 9 perception.
Then again, I'm usually the last one, so
Take perception. Because you failed an intelligence check, you don't know it's stupid to walk into a poison trap.
Well, it depends on which questions you're asking, right?
If Lloyd wants you to walk into a poison trap, you will.
If he wants you to fall into an acid trap, then he will.
That fucking maze. Each tile could be one of 3 different traps. Enjoy walking along it. It won't be tedious.
Oh, there's a door. There's a giant fucking harpoon behind it.
It's like tap, tap, tap. This one's safe. Nope, different kind of trap. It was in the ceiling. LOL. Be right back.
There's actually a dungeon in Waterdeep that's a little bit of a fun excursion you could have if you want to.
It's a trap dungeon.
It's more of like this. It isn't that terrible as the winding halls that you found on Abbey Isle, but it is kind of like a cool little mini dungeon that you could do with some vaunted treasure at the end of it. It's a homebrew adventure that's based on a place that's quite prominent in Waterdeep lore. Well, is repeatedly mentioned in multiple different source books, but never actually having a full adventure built around it.
I mean, it could be cool. But maybe if we heard of that before we went to the vault and the arena coming up soon.
Yeah.
Because, like, I assume when the vault is opened, basically the campaign is done.
Well, we could do something right after the campaign as well if you want to do that adventure. I bought the module for it. Didn't cost much.
Yeah, I mean, it could be cool. But, like, here's the thing, right? Let's assume we do it for the loot. And then you're like, okay, you did it. We're starting Curse of Strahd next time. You buy loot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I also found a bit sad about the Salt Marsh. Like, we get the pretty stuff, cool! One fight.
Well, like the thing is, with Saltmarsh, like, I think there wasn't even anything pretty there. Lloyd made it something fun.
Mm.
Because it was a bard instrument for our party to fight the Kraken.
Yeah, but I don't understand why they always put the cool loot at the end, because...
Because you have scaling. Like,
Yeah,
you
I
can't
know,
put
but
cool loot on low levels. It's really hard.
it would have been nice if we could have gotten it, I don't know, at 2/3 or something, that you could at least battle with it a bit.
There's like other stuff we got, and we got like a shitload of gold.
Yes, we had indeed gold galore. Haha, pun intended.
Like, it's just really hard because like the weapon Lord gave for my character, right? Technically is basically overpowered compared to any other magical weapon we'll find. But then again, it's technically an artifact rather than...
Yeah, it follows the sort of same thought process that Matthew Mercer uses in Critical Role. You can get an artifact early, but it's in its inert state, so it has to ascend.
But that's
So
cool.
the artifacts have multiple stages.
Yeah,
And I think mine
like
was
that idea.
stronger because I have the negative benefit of I might potentially attack everyone around me.
Yeah, it is. I thought one of the things that I thought I had moved to the later parts was that you healed when you hit. I thought I had added that to the second stage of it, but not the inert stage.
Wow.
But it's fine now when you have already exalted it.
Just think like there's probably a lot of other things that artifact-wise could work, but I think Lloyd is not going to give us any in this campaign because we're literally playing for 3 levels.
Well, I this time took a character that didn't need a weapon, so I'm all good.
I mean, there's more than just a weapon that can be an artifact, right? Like, technically, as you saw, your stone that you picked up and attuned to is an artifact.
Yeah, true. Although I'm very happy with my Bloodwell vial. So, yay.
Well, like, it could be cool for example, Strahd to have an idea of something, maybe.
Yeah,
Well,
Because,
I have in that adventure because I'm homebrewing it,
Yeah.
right, a fair bit, and I also use a current somebody's remake of the entire module as well, so it's even more.
if we keep
Homebrewed.
the same character, are we starting at level 5 or downgrading back to level God knows what?
We'll have to see. Like, if you start at level 5, you're just going to be massively over leveled for everything.
I think the
at the
campaign
start.
started at 3, right?
Yeah, I'll have to see how to introduce Curse of Strahd if we end up going for that, because
I mean, if we're level 5, we're probably about appropriate for the Death House, right?
well, not for the reworked one.
Oh, did
Well,
they rework it?
No, so the thing is, the Death House is when it's rewritten in that revamp basically of the entire module, and with the changes that I've made to it on top of that, it fits as a really good introductory point to the general theme of Curse of Strahd, right? So since you already know kind of how it goes, we're probably not going to play it anyways. But if you had we had played it, you would have started level 3 and you would have just blasted through it because it would be scaled for level 1 and 2 characters, right?
But it
Appropriately,
sounds fun.
instead of the way it's written in the core module, which is utterly ludicrous for what it includes. But like we could start there.
You mean
But
it's not reasonable to go down into a room with loads of ghosts telling you to make a sacrifice and force you to kill someone or they all attack?
You mean how there's a shitload of enemies there, but you can't rest at all?
Aha. Sounds less fun.
Yeah, when it's rewritten, it is significantly more fun, I think. But it's kind of ruined by the fact that, well, two of you already know the entire adventure or the entire
Oh, I thought
thing,
only
right?
Andy
The
knew
structure of
it.
I think
I don't
Jesus.
know. I don't know much about specific. I just know that like from the original module, I know the first house was complete garbage.
Yeah, it wasn't good. It wasn't good.
Like I can't remember much of it. I just know there was like rooms with like a million enemy. Well, not million, but it was like a small room with 4 enemies. And then if you looked behind walls, there were more enemies. And it's like, why?
Enemyception.
And then like the final boss also of that like mini dungeon was also really rough, I think.
Fucking shambling mound!
Yes.
Level 3 characters! A shambling mound!
I see you
Yeah,
guys loved it.
its stat block was a bit. Well, you're not supposed to be
you could
level 3. You're
one-shot.
supposed to be level 2.
Oh, sorry, level 2. Oh, that's much better.
You get level 3 when you kill it.
Alright.
Yeah.
You can one-shot level 2, get most level 2 characters.
Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking. Most of the adventures have terrible introductory adventures. They're usually way overtuned.
So yeah, like I know that of Curse of Strahd, and I heard tiny tidbits of Curse of Strahd, but I don't know specifically anything. Like the main thing I remember is that there's a book of angels somewhere, Curse of Strahd.
Okay.
Yeah, I know basically nothing about the actual module. I only looked at the Death House.
Hmm.
I know there's a vampire called Strahd.
Yes.
Who would have known?
I know that if you I know that if a DM hasn't fully understood the module and just allows you to go into a straight one-on-one fight with Strahd, he's an incredible pushover.
What?
I know that much.
Mhm.
Well, he's
Yeah.
supposed to be like a intelligent, tricksy, deceptive guy who doesn't let you just fight him one-on-one. But the game module apparently doesn't really tell you that outright. So if you just let the party fight him, he's just not very strong.
Mhm.
Like imagine basically as if the Kraken just crawled out of his hole and was like, "Okay, I'm stuck, guys. Now hit me."
So when he's actually not in the water anymore. Yeah.
Yes, basically.
Mhm.
But like
But yeah,
when the Kraken is in its lair, it can do a lot of more actions, and that's essentially, I guess, what Annie was getting at. Instead of just having a brief fight with Strahd, he might use traps or some other weird shit in his home or wherever.
Yeah, like if we play my modified version of Curse of Strahd, your preconceptions of the module might not be entirely accurate, right? Because I'm going to change a lot of things, add some additional lore that fills some holes, I should say, in the story, and I would also provide you with a lot of side quests. A
I'm like-
ludicrous amount. So you'll have to pick some.
I mean, I
Okay.
think that's fun. Like, I don't know anything about it, and I basically go blind in any module, except like I just watch a lot of videos, so sometimes I'm gonna hear something.
Yeah, because I rewrite a fair bit of what is happening, there are fewer spoilers you can come across, but there are still some very relevant things that I would hope you don't look up. But yeah,
It's not my intent.
and the reason I think the Death House is a good introduction with this rewrite is because it sets the tone of the module. It doesn't well, because it's like a dungeon, and Curse of Strahd isn't a dungeon, it's a sandbox game. It doesn't really make you understand how you're going to play the rest of the module, but it's so good at just setting the tone of the adventure. This sort of gothic horror.
Well, it's
So-
maybe better than the Salt Marsh one. That was not sandbox, right? And we kind of got confused and lost and whatever.
Yeah, but in Ghost of Saltmarsh, only 3 adventures were connected, right? So the adventures that had were more connected, I added, but I didn't make it very obvious, I should suppose. But because Curse of Strahd is a very limited world that you sort of explore to learn more of it, I think the things are a little bit easier to sort of play through, right? Because you don't have every option available to you at the start. You just slowly add more options of what you can do and where you should explore.
Mhm.
And from a practical standpoint, almost nothing of it is mandatory.
Oh.
The module starts with you getting there, and then it ends when you leave.
So if we turn
So
around
it's-
and we leave again, it's done.
well, there's some caveats to that, but the way the module is written, it has like 15 chapters, and only 2 of them are mandatory. Everything else is just other stuff that is relevant to the lore of the place, right? But it's not necessary for you to participate in it.
Aha.
So it's a lot more, you sort of have to connect the dots between what is occurring. And hopefully I will do a better job this time. Doing.
Yeah, you
But-
remember when you guys did this? I forgot about this, which made this whole plot point a bit different.
Yeah, like the the group that I am playing with now in Curse of Strahd, they're so good at just taking notes. It's actually insane. There is not a single story thread that they have forgotten. And they have like 20 different things they can follow if they want to.
Wait.
It's actually insane.
I mean, I think. Do you play with them in real life? It's also online, right?
It's online, yeah.
Like, I think the biggest problem I have with note taking is that I haven't found a good program that allows for proper note taking.
Mm.
Like, I'm currently using Excel sheets and I'm like basically making small notes during gameplay, but it's really hard to make it into a proper page until like done making more notes about those things.
Have you tried Windows Notes or Office Notes?
But that's the exact same problem. Like, it's just gonna end up with a giant page of text.
No. Like Notes is really very, very specific for, well, note taking. and
I mean, I
you
can
can
maybe
put
try.
tiny links and stuff like that.
I
Julian
might have
knows
to
way
look
more
into
about
it then.
I
maybe.
can also. I have wondered if I should get a subscription on World Anvil
Oh.
before